The wazir then spoke, "Listen closely, my daughter. Long ago, there lived a merchant. He possessed great wealth. He owned a large number of cattle. He is married and has many children. God had blessed him with the ability to understand the language of animals and birds. His house stood beside the sea. He had an ox and a donkey in his house. One day, the merchant overheard the ox speaking to the donkey. 'May you be blessed with happiness. I'm feeling exhausted, and you live in luxury, and occasionally the owner sits on you. Look at me, I always go to the plow and the mill.' The donkey said, 'By following my advice, you too will find relief from toil and hard work.' Next day, following the donkey's advice, the ox refused to work. As soon as the farmer took it to the field and loaded it with barley, it sat down stubbornly. The farmer struck the ox, but it remained unmoving. Even the ox refused to eat. The farmer approached the merchant and shared everything with him. The merchant grasped the situation and instructed the farmer to harness the donkey for plowing the entire day instead of using the ox. The donkey worked diligently throughout the day. When the donkey returned home after a tiring day, the ox thanked him. The donkey set out again the next day. Upon returning, the donkey collapsed from exhaustion and deeply regretted giving his advice. The ox again approached to express gratitude and praise him. The donkey used his brain again and then said to the ox, "I overheard the owner saying that the ox would be handed over to the butcher. When the ox feared the butcher would tear him apart, he chose to put an end to it. The next day, when the ox saw its owner, it stood tall and steadfast, expressing great affection. Seeing this, the merchant burst into laughter. The merchant's wife asked why you were laughing. The merchant said, "I cannot reveal the reason. If I do, it will cost me my life." His wife began to cry and said, "You're laughing at me. That's why you're not sharing your secret with me." Then, at his wife's insistence, the merchant gathered all the families and neighbors. He then told them, "I possess a secret, and anyone who knows it and discloses it will die." In response, everyone said, "For God's sake, let it go, or your husband may die." But his wife disagreed. The merchant stood up and went to perform his ablution. On his way back, the Arab merchant overheard his dog and rooster speaking to each other. The rooster said, "Our master is ignorant. I have many wives. Sometimes I please one, sometimes another. He should punish her with mulberry sticks." Hearing this, the merchant broke the mulberry sticks and hid them in the basement. He then led his wife to the basement, saying, "I'll tell you everything here." He repeatedly punished his wife until she deeply regretted her actions and promised never to repeat them. Eventually, they both came out from the basement and lived out their lives until their death. Upon hearing this story, the wazir's daughter declared that no matter what, she would marry the king. The wazir's daughter told her younger sister, "When I get there, I will call you, and you request me to tell you a story. If God wills, it will bring salvation to all of us." The wazir brings his daughter to King Shahryar, and they both marry. At night, Sherzad began to cry, and King Shahryar inquired about the reason for her tears. She expressed a desire to see her younger sister one last time before her death. The king summoned her, and the two sisters exchanged a glance before embracing each other warmly. Then the younger sister asked Sherzad to tell the story to pass the night. Sherzad replied, "Only if the king grants permission." When the king heard this, he granted Sherzad permission. Sherzad then began the story.